Hello, today we're going to learn how to make the marble blue loop handle mug. This is a great mug for coffee. I know some of you don't have a slab roller available, so I'm going to show you how you can use wood sticks to make an even slab. But let's start with our clay. First, we'll need 600 grams of white clay separated into two batches of 300 grams each. Let me weigh this out. Perfect. I've got my 300 grams of white clay, and I'll wrap this portion in a plastic bag while we would prepare our stain. For our blue stain, I'll measure 30 grams of mason stain. This will give us a medium toned color intensity, about 10% pigment to clay ratio. Now I'll start spraying water onto the stain. Spraying water is the best technique as it allows you to check if the mixture is too dry or too wet. Don't make the mistake of making it too damp, so go little by little, testing until it has a nice yogurt consistency. Let me show you what I mean by this. Okay, so this is looking great. Now I'll put my gloves on. You can also start working with gloves from the beginning if you prefer. I'll take my 300 grams of white clay and create a depression in the center. Then I'll place the stain in this depression and begin working it into the clay, mixing evenly to distribute the color. So continue kneading until the color is evenly distributed throughout. Perfect, our blue clay is ready. Now I'll take a small coil of blue clay, about 50 grams, and a similar amount of white clay. I do this because I make batches of mugs that need to look somewhat similar, so this helps me control the pattern. But feel free to be creative with your combinations. I'll organize my two colors by creating alternating coils. One blue, one white, one blue, one white. You get what I mean. Now I'll push them together, joining everything into one large coil. Here you can see I already have a nice pattern. I'll cut it in half and join the two pieces together again and start rolling again. I repeat this process as many times as needed to achieve the marble effect I'm looking for. Here I think I have a nice pattern. So I have two nice patterns that I can combine. One that's very dense with a more bold one. So I'll join these pieces together and now I have what I need for my slab. I'll cover this with plastic and come back to it shortly. We're going to set up the workstation with a canvas. And I'll use the wood sticks as guides for an even thickness of the slab. I'll position my wood sticks based on the width of my roller pin. This will ensure an even slab thickness. So for cutting the shapes, I'll use my templates. I have templates for the body, the handle, and the base. If you don't like the seam that appears inside and outside the mug, you can use an angle cutting tool to cut your slab at an angle. This allows you to join your slab perfectly without showing the joint. I won't demonstrate this today, but it's good to know. Now I'll bring out my marble clay and place it in the middle of my workstation. I'll push it down slightly and drop it a few times onto the surface. This helps compress the clay and starts joining the particles. Then I'll use my roller pin, rolling up and down, always starting from the middle. After several passes, I'll turn the clay around, stick it together, drop it a few times and continue rolling. As you can see, the slab is starting to thin out and stretch. We'll continue this process until we reach our desired thickness, rolling up and down repeatedly. Now our slab is ready. I'll place my templates on it, the body, the handle and the base. I'll cut around each template carefully. Using a cookie cutter and a balsa wood template will be easier, but I'm showing you this method in case you don't have one handy. Now I'll remove the templates and the surplus clay. We can save this extra clay for another project by storing it in a plastic bag with a little water to keep it from drying out. So let's check our pieces. The base and handle looks good, but I noticed the body isn't quite even. It's a little thin on one side. In this case, I can continue working the clay, dropping it a few times and using the roller pin again. Now we'll smooth our slab to remove air bubbles. Ideally, you will do this before cutting your pieces, but we can still do it now. Let me show you what a bubble looks like. This air bubble comes out as I press with my tool. See? There it is. I'll smooth both the front and back sides, and I'll have to recut the slab using the template. If you want to sign your work, you can use this type of metal stamp. This was custom made, but you can also use any stamp available out there. Just gently push the stamp into the clay. Great, we have everything ready. I'll start with the handle because we need it to dry faster than the other pieces. First, I'll score both ends of the handle with my scoring tool. Then I will apply vinegar to act as glue. I'll join the ends and gently push them together. If your handle starts to get a little dry or develops cracks, don't worry. You can smooth it out with your finger or a little water. We'll smooth everything out later with a sponge, so it doesn't have to be perfect now. Now we'll let the handle dry slightly while we work on the body and the base. For the body, we'll score one edge, turn it around, and score the other edge. Then we'll apply vinegar to one edge and join them to form a cylinder. Gently push the seams together. Then you can use your wooden tool to join and smooth the connection, and also use your fingers. Next, we'll score the bottom edge of the cylinder and apply vinegar. Place the base on the cylinder, gently push down, and then turn it over. Drop the body a few times to help settle in. Then join the base to the body completely, smoothing the connection with your tool and some vinegar. Now our body is ready. Let's turn it around and tap it gently on the base to ensure everything is well joined. Check for any areas that need attention and smooth with your fingers. Perfect, we have our body and our handle, and we're going to cover them with plastic and let them dry. The handle should be a bit more firm before attaching it to the mug. It's now day 2. The body is still flexible, but the handle is in perfect condition, firm but not completely dry. I'll smooth everything out with water and a sponge, starting with the rim of the mug. Then the base, and the seam. I'll do the same with the handle to remove any imperfections. Now I'll score my handle and score the spot on the body where I want to attach it. I'll apply vinegar to both areas and join them together, gently pushing the handle onto the body. Finally, I'll smooth out the connection with my tool and some vinegar. Our mug is ready for drying. I usually place it on a rack and cover it with plastic so it dries slowly and evenly. By the end of the day, the mug is looking like this. And the next day, it's dry and ready for bisque firing. So yeah, that's how you make a marble blue loop handle mug, and we're ready for the glaze.